Before there was YouTube, before there was the internet, there was community television. Community television in Canada has its roots within the National Film Board of Canada. This organization, devoted to film production, is credited with producing the world's first documentary film, Nanook of the North, in 1922. In the late 1960s, community-based filmmakers such as Bonnie Klein, taking advantage of Sony's new video portapack technology, began going into various Canadian communities and taught them to use this new equipment to tell their own stories. This allowed communities a voice on broadcast television for the first time. With the advent of cable television and the debate over the granting of cable licenses in the early 1970s, the Canadian Radio and Television Commission declared on July 16, 1971 that cable companies had to provide public access channels. These channels were to be funded with a portion of the fees charged by the cable companies. In fact, the existence of community television is enshrined in the Canadian Broadcast Act as one of the three elements of the broadcasting system. Community television is as important as the private media companies such as Global and CTV and the public broadcaster, the CBC itself.
This is CBC.
I won't go too much into the subsequent history of community television in Vancouver. If you are interested in learning more, I would advise you to talk to someone like Sid Tan of Access Television, Jeff Scott of Tri-Cities TV, Julius Fisher of Working TV, or the folks at ICTV who have been active in keeping community-produced television alive in Vancouver for these many, many years. The Vancouver Community Television Association was founded by Pedro Bora, who along with Linda Tass and Tom Childs spent countless hours filming various events in their community. At the same time that community television was developing and evolving, another technology was undergoing major changes. The computer age was beginning. When I was in high school, we had one computer the size of a classroom, and you inputted data using punch cards. Then, as legend tells us, two hippies in California invented a new desktop computer, and in July 1976 the Apple I went on sale and 225 units were sold. So there has been a great many changes in our world since the advent of television. Some good.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And some not so good. As I ponder the major challenges to our continued existence as a species, I was forced to ask myself how we got to this state. I concluded that much of it had to do with the way that media has changed our society and the planet. The concentration of media ownership funded by advertising has created false needs and wants. Television has an exceptional capacity as a means of propaganda in that we view it both through our eyes and listen to it with our ears. Marshall McLuhan, a professor at the University of Toronto, was one of the first people to recognize the role of media in creating our environment, starting with the effect that the printing press had on the world.
When you live in an information age, culture becomes big business, education becomes big business, and the cultural explosion or the information explosion becomes itself culture.
So today we're living in a media-induced fantasy that is disconnected from our natural environment. This fantasy was created by the mass media to make us better consumers and more obedient drones. And now we have a new media form, the internet. Much cooler than television because it is much more interactive, creating what Marshall McLuhan has called the global village. It allows us to create and distribute our own media to a worldwide audience. But what does all this have to do with community television? Community television was a place where if you had an idea for a television show, you could go and get the resources to produce that show and broadcast it to your community over your local cable network. The Vancouver Community Television Association, as a public access broadcaster, still can obtain these resources that Shaw Cable must provide to the local community channel. We are producing a half-hour show, One World by the Community, for the past year, and now we're about to produce our second half-hour program. When they crossed the bridge to cool the planet, we were there. When they dug in for climate change, we were there.
Hi, this is Valerie with B Community TV, and today is 10/10/10, and we are here at the Dig-In in Surrey.
When they bicycled for music, we rode along. In community gardens, we planted. In farmers markets, we shopped. The Vancouver Community Television Association is looking for people with a passion for the media and the environment. We hope to use the ability of community television to reach out to Shaw's 660,000 cable subscribers and combine this with the global audience of the internet and create a multimedia platform that will sow the seeds of a new reality. In spring 2011, we plan to launch a 26-episode program to be broadcast by the Vancouver Community Television Association. We're looking forward to working with anyone who is interested in working on this media experiment, and who knows, maybe we can make a contribution.